Hello, all you wonderful and creative humans. I'm Pixie, and this is Pixie's Projects. If you visited before, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to do one of the most favorite videos of the month, which is my finished pages. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started. I'm going to do my small books first, just because that's how they were stacked on my desk. I will zoom in on these if I need to, but we're going to start with Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. I did a buddy color in here with Johanna from JoJo's Hana and Tammy from Tammy Colors 2. And this is the page we had done. And I used alcohol markers, Royal and Langnickel pencils for some slight shading, not a lot, and a white jelly roll, and the Stardust jelly roll, which I used on the stars and her wings and on the moon. So yeah, we finished this one together, which was really nice. Oh, and I also used the Stardust on her eyeballs as well, just to give them a little shine. It's not my best work, but it's done. The tiger threw me off, so I had a little bit of trouble with that. But anyway, that is my page from Hannah Lynn's Enchanted Faces. I have for my hashtag Pixies Disney Coloring a page out of my Disney word search and coloring book. I had a very rough time. Our prompt this month was Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh, which means it could be, any Winnie the Pooh page. But I had trouble finding Pooh pages at all, yet alone Rabbit. So I did this one, which is of Tigger. And this is all done with alcohol markers. I'm trying to see if you'll be able to see it. At least in the light blue, you could probably see all the Zentangly stuff. And in the purpley color, there was a lot more of it. So I just tried to eliminate as much of it as possible. And I used gold jelly roll markers to do a saying from Tigger, which is consider yourself pounced, and just draw an outline around him. So yeah, that was my page from Disney word search and coloring book. I've had somebody ask me before where I got this, and it was at Barnes & Noble. I'm just going to put the ISBN up just in case anybody wants to find this. It is not the greatest book, but it was relatively cheap, and if you're looking for Disney pages on the cheap, this might be one you want to look at. Okay, so after that, I did, and if you've been watching my channel the last couple of days or the last week or so, a page in Macaron Sketchbooks by Carnival Magana. And this is the one I've done. Oh, we're stuck. Okay. So I did this as a 3-part series because Glitter Ghost asked how I did acrylic backgrounds. So I did one on that, and then I wanted to use my new Eero Jeton pencils, and I wound up doing 2 more videos to finish this page. So I'll just pull her up a little bit so you can see all that glitter. It's Arteza acrylic paint, which was a glitter or a metallic paint. And I used dot markers in the background to add dots at the top and bottom of the page. I used the Eero Jeton pencils, like I said. I used a Pentel Sparkle Pop on her earrings, her nails, and her lips. And I used an acrylic paint pen to just add white dots inside of her sleeve. So that is the page I did in Carnival Magana's sketchbook of Macaron Sketchbook. Next up, I have a page in Matchstick Mouse Autumn. And this I did as a buddy color with the Goblin Quinn. And I used Posca pencils, or Posca pastels, sorry. They're a wax-based pastel that is water resistant. And I also used a gold jelly roll for the doorknobs on all the doors. So not a lot of gold on there, just mostly those Posca pastels only, but I really like how it turned out. And that was from Matchstick Mouse Autumn by Morgan O'Brien. Next up, we have The Way Home, also by Morgan O'Brien. And in this one, I did this page, which was Grogu, hashtag Grogu in 2022, and hashtag Morgan O Scavenger Hunt, both of those by Jojo Sahana. I used alcohol markers and jelly roll. I used the white jelly roll to do the bottle to get it look like glass. And I used the gold jelly roll on this guy's earrings. So that was it for this one. And that was The Way Home by Morgan O'Brien. Next up, I have Welcome to the Village, also by Morgan O'Brien. Yeah, a little bit of a theme. This is the last one, I promise. But I did this one with Posca pencils because I had just gotten them in my last haul, if you had seen it. Same with the Posca pastels. And I wanted to try them in an Amazon printed book because I have a lot of Amazon printed books. So I wanted to see how they worked in there, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So we did this girl, and this would also fit the Morgan O Scavenger Hunt from Johanna because it is a smile. And that was Welcome to the Village by Morgan O'Brien. Next up, we have Summer Nights by Hannah Carlzon. And I did this page here, which is really shiny. And I don't know if it... Let me get my bookmark off for you. But, yeah, it's like super shiny. In the background, that is Art Philosophy Metallic Watercolors. I also used my Posca pencils on this page. I used DecoArt Americana Craft Pearls to cover up the dots that were drawn on. They're barely visible, but they're pink. And that was it for this page, yeah. So it was a nice, simple one. It just took a long time because I had to keep waiting for this to dry and redo it. And I got it very wet, and we've got no bleed through, so I'm quite thrilled. And that was in Summer Nights by Hannah Carlzon. Also, that was a buddy color with Helen from Lovingly Handmade by Helen on Instagram. Sorry, I didn't have that written down on my paper. Next up, we have Aria Veil by Chroma. And this is for my hashtag Complete Aria Veil. This was my July prompt that I had posted. If you want to check out the Disney video or the Complete Aria Veil video, those will be up in the next few days. If you've been watching my videos, you know I'm getting extensive work done on the outside of my house, so there's a lot of construction and banging. So filming videos is happening at night, and I only do as many as I can before I'm just too tired to keep going. But this is my page from Aria Veil. It's called Gentle Breeze. I used alcohol markers. I'm just pulling in a little for you. Alcohol markers, white acrylic for the ocean, Starjoy gold pencils for shading, and that was all I used. I really like how this page came out. It was a good experiment, like the lighter tables and the bar there. I tried to add like a bluish green to them because I wanted them to look like they had paint on them. And they're like driftwood, and the sea spray like hit them and started taking the paint off of them. I don't know if I achieved it, but that was the plan. My favorite thing on this page are these apples. I don't know why, but they were. So that was my Aria Veil page. And again, if you want to check those videos out, they should be up in the next 2 days, one at a time. Next up, we have Spooky Girl by Coco Wyo. And this one I did with Glitter Ghost. And it also can go for Color Your Hoard, since this is the first page I've done in this book. I used alcohol markers, Faber-Castell Eco pencils for shading, and Pentel Arts pencils also for shading. And I'll just give you a little lift on this so you can see her face better. I added a lot of purple to her face, and it's really funny because when Glitter Ghost finished hers first, and she sent it to me, and I had not even started, and then when I went to start mine, I just ran with it. I didn't go back and look or anything. We have almost identical pages, like the clothing and everything is the same. So I must have like retained what her page looked like in my head and just somehow managed to copy it. But that's what we've gotten. And that was Spooky Girl by Coco Wyo. Next up, I have one from Creepy Girls Goth Coloring Book by Ludacrae or Ludacree. Crea, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But in this one, I did this page. And this was a nice, quick, and easy one, and I just really loved coloring it. This was a buddy color with Norma Jean from, I believe it's Norma Jean Color With Me. If I'm wrong, I'll add it over the screen for you to see it. You should check out her channel. She's lovely. And this was also good for Color Your Horde from T's channel, which is escaping me right now, and Lavella's coloring. So this is alcohol markers, acrylic paint pens from Primrosia, and the Faber-Castell Eco pencils for some shading. And this is another one with some weird face colors. I kind of went with like a sickly green, even though it was the same color as her hair basically. And the paint markers added the thorns to the cactus, and all the stars in the background outlined the clouds and the balloon string. So that was Chibi Girls Goth Coloring Book. This is another one, just in case you have trouble finding it. There's the ISBN. I'm trying to remember to do that with some of the more difficult to find books. Not that you're going to have trouble, but I certainly seem to. This is Gabby Wolf's Houses 2 coloring book. This was a buddy color I did with Johanna from JoJo Sahana and Sarah from Chronic Coloring Down Under, which if you're watching this, Sarah, I hope you feel better soon. This one, I prepped the page with Gesso. I used my Neocolor 2s all over it, and then I used Crazy Art pencils just to add a little bit of shading. Not thrilled with how it turned out, but I'm good because it's done, and it is very like Johanna and Sarah said, Florida vibes. And that's kind of what I was going for, something like tropical. So this is done. This also could go for Jamie's prompt from Jamie's Coloring Love for Flower. And it could go for Color Your Horde for T and Lavella again. So that was Houses 2 by Gabby Wolf. We're getting there. I'm probably halfway. I feel like I didn't get a lot done this month, but when I looked at the stack, it was rather large. So this is Mandalas for Peace, and if you've been here for a while, you've seen this book the last few months. I'm trying to finish this with my friend Sherry from Instagram. So we try to do 2 pages each month. So first off, I have this one, which I haven't dated. I'll have to do that. This is with Pen and Gear markers. Crazy Art metallic paint pens are also on here for the gold accents, which the Crazy Arts aren't the shiniest, but I think they're still visible. And again, that was a buddy color with Sherry from Instagram. And we have one more in here. It's this one with its crazy background. I don't know. I just felt like doing it, so I did it. This is also the Pen and Gear markers. It's also Crazy Art metallic paint pens, this time in silver, which are, I think, more visible than the gold. And then I just used Distress ink on the background because it kind of reminded me of, like, I don't know, something that should be in the night sky. So I went at it with blacks and purples and blues and aquas, and I do like how it turned out. So that is Mandalas for Peace by Karen Sue Chen. After that, we've got Friendship Book by Susie Toronto. And this is another Color Your Horde because I have not colored in it before. And I picked this page. It says, Don't Let Anyone Dull Your Sparkle. I like this book because the images or the graphics on the page are fairly large throughout the book. So, like, I'm not the greatest at alcohol markers, so I like having the opportunity to color something bigger. But this was done with Cali Art markers and a gold jelly roll. I just use it to accent the boots, which I'll pull up so you can see the shiny. And again, this could go for Color Your Horde, but I colored this on my own, no buddy color involved. And that was Susie Toronto's Friendship Coloring Book. Then we have Magical Beauties by Christine McAllister. This is the second book. This is a buddy color done with Johanna and Poet from Poet Spice. Alcohol markers again. Seems like an alcohol marker month. Maybe that's why I got so much done. Liquitex acrylic silver paint. Pentel Sparkle Pop paint pen or glitter pens. And fine liners. And I'll just pull it up so you can see all the sparkle in the silver and the teal. And a lot of fun doing this one. And this one also can go for Poets Gents for June and July hashtag. So there's another one. But yeah, I like how he turned out. So now I've got 2 colored in here and I'm having a good time. So hopefully we'll get another one going in there soon. Poet and Johanna, if you're listening, I'd like to do another one. And then we have Chibi Girls Volume 3 by April Amber. And in here, I've done this Christmas page, which is I think my only Christmas in July. This is done with alcohol markers again, white acrylic pen, stickles, and glossy accents. And I did this with Spooky Colorist on Instagram. So we'll pull up closer so you can see her little fuzzy hat and fuzzy dress bits and her sparkly wings. And I put the glossy accents on her shoes because I want them to look like patent leather. And they're also on her eyes. And I had a lot of fun with this one too. So this is Chibi Girls by April Amber Volume 3. Alright, next up I have a folder. This one is ridiculous, but like I said, I had trouble finding for my Pixies Disney coloring challenge was Rabbit. I found that picture of Tigger, which made me feel like I kind of got somewhere. But then I wanted to actually do Rabbit since it's like my hashtag and I feel like I should probably do something. So I did this. I do not like it. I used Pentel watercolor crayons. They're like called Payons or something, I guess, because it's Prang. Yeah, I'm sure they will work fine. It was just my first attempt at it. And it's like little watercolor crayons. But it's just a 12 pack. And I was not prepared to figure out how to shade really well with them. So this is what we got out of it, which is not bad. And it does give me an actual picture of Rabbit for my hashtag, which makes me very happy. Next up, I have a buddy color in Rabbit Girl. And I'm sorry I cannot remember who made this book. And I did not write it inside. And as you can see, it's in a language I do not understand. So, again, we're sparkly. It seems like all markers and sparkly paint for the month of June. I don't know why. I did this one with Poet Spice. And this also counts for my Pixies Disney coloring hashtag because it's a rabbit. This was done with Art Philosophy metallic paints. Neocolor 2s for the bunny and all the parts of the bunny. And then I used gesso just inside the circle to get the paints down. I also used a Sparkle Pop gel pen in silver for all the little accents. And I used the Color Shift Black Flash paint for the 2 rings on the outside circle. So I'm trying to make sure you can see all the different sparkles. But yeah, I went really simple with the bunny because I did so much nonsense in the background. So this was a buddy color with Poet Spice in Rabbit Girl. And in case you need it, which I'm sure this book's been around a long time, but there's the ISBN just in case. Okay, what's up next? Let's see. I have a page that was in Erie's fairy tale book. It's Journey to the Kingdom of the Book of Magic, or at least that's what Google Translate gave to me. And it is my first page in here, so this would also count as Color Your Hoard. And here's that. And this one is Buddy Color with Wendy from Happily Handmade Delights. I was a month late. Hers is in her June finished pages video, so if you want to see hers, go check that out. And this one is acrylic paint all in the background. Art and Fly pencils, which Tammy Color 2 had told me about, which I love them in this book. They work real nice. White ink for the shine and like on the little various bits. And then Treasure Gold, which was a paint that Johanna had shown on her channel, and I, of course, ran her out and bought it. So yeah, that's in here as well. But yeah, so this is my page with Wendy from Happily Handmade Delights in Erie's fairy tale book. Okay, and then we have Mythic World, and I've got 2 in here this month. So let me get open to this. This was last month or 2 months ago. I can't remember. That is not our page this month. Our page this month is this one. Take that tag off. Oh, everything's a little bit of a mess over here. Hold on one second. I just want to get you moved up so you can see well. Okay. So this one was a buddy color with Poet and Johanna. And I used Stettler, Derwent, and Spectrum Noir tinted graphite pencils. I used Arteza colored pencils for a little bit of random shading after the fact, and for mainly this guy on the horse and these skeletons. And I used a gold jelly roll for the accents on his earrings and his headdress and his neck piece. I'll pull that up for you so you can see some sparkle. And that is the page I did there. Next up, we have this one. And this is another buddy color with Johanna and Poet. And this is my Coloropoly, was to finish a whip, and this was it. And I used acrylic paint for the background. I used watercolor on the moon and on everything else. I did not use pencils on this, just the watercolor. And then it was jelly roll for the clouds and all that kind of stuff, and for her belt and on the lantern, which you can kind of see the gold, I think, right? Yeah, okay, that's the treasure gold. The white is the stars in the background. Okay. Got it. And around the clouds. But yeah, this is all done in watercolor and acrylic paint. And that is my last completed page for the month of July. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, friends, have a very colorful day. Bye.